Hari Om, my name is Shobhit Raj, and in this video I wanted to share 5 practices which will help us find a sense of balance, a sense of grounding, and improve overall well-being during these tough times and these uncertain times of the pandemic. But before we explore these practices, I want to mention that this video is not aimed as a medical advice to anyone who is experiencing the symptoms of COVID. This is aimed at rather motivating us and encouraging us to lead a healthier lifestyle and use the sister sciences of yoga and Ayurveda to boost immunity, to balance the nervous system, to improve digestion, and to increase our overall sense of well-being. The need of the hour is to boost immunity, to increase relaxation, and to find optimism amidst the stress and fear. And yoga and Ayurveda offers us a beautiful space through practices, through lifestyle principles, through nutrition guidance, and we can follow them to experience a sense of well-being and peace on the inside. It might not change what's happening on the outside, but when we have a strong, robust system, when we have a calm and a stable mind, the way we respond to these situations and the uncertainty is with a sense of resilience and acceptance and a sense of faith that this too shall pass. And the first practice is Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga is a system where we use the body and breath in the form of movement, breathing. There are also cleansing practices to cleanse the inner physiology. What I want to recommend within Hatha Yoga on a daily basis, asana and pranayama. Asana, and this could mean you're doing a few Surya Namaskar every day, spinal movements, moving the spine in all directions, and a few asanas, few standing postures, few seated postures, maybe inversions if you don't have any health conditions. And a daily pranayama practice, because this helps to oxygenate the lungs, it helps to release toxins from the body. Even the asana practice and the perspiration through it will help to detoxify the body, strengthen the overall immunity so that we can ward off external pathogens. And daily asana pranayama is a very highly recommended practice, and we don't have to aim too high, just 30-40 minute practice is sufficient. We want to aim more at consistency than intensity or duration during these times. And the third practice within Hatha Yoga that I would want to recommend is Jalaneti. Now this can be done on a weekly basis, and this is a wonderful practice where warm saline water is poured into the nostrils and the entire tract is cleansed through this practice. And this helps to open up the entire sinus, it helps to activate the sense organs, it helps to bring in a sense of calm, and you can also breathe better. Your asana and pranayama practice is also affected and benefited from Jalaneti. So I would recommend daily asana and pranayama and a weekly Jalaneti practice. The second practice I want to suggest is Abhyanga, and this is where we oil the whole body. Traditionally in Ayurvedic Dinacharya, it is done in the morning before your asana practice or before a warm shower. But if you don't have time in the mornings, you can also do a shorter version of it. A whole body Abhyanga would take around 15-20 minutes. But if you don't have that kind of time in the morning, you can do a shorter version where you oil the soles of the feet and the head. And this helps to really pacify Vata dosha. Because especially in these times, there's a lot of Vata imbalance, which is what is causing the aggravation and fear. And to ground Vata dosha, Abhyanga is a wonderful practice to boost immunity, to strengthen the body, and to overall increase a sense of grounding within the entire system. I highly recommend this practice. If you can't do a full body one, at least we can aim towards an alternate day Abhyanga. If not, a must would be every night before going to bed. This also helps to improve your quality of sleep, which is linked to relaxation, immunity, and overall functioning. So before going to bed, you can oil the soles of your feet, and every day, and on alternate days you can oil your head. Which oil to use, it depends on your dosha, it depends on your Vikriti and Prakriti. But I will be pasting a link in the description which will give you a sense of guidance around what can be the base of oil that you use. The third practice would be Yoga Nidra. Now, the stress levels are increasing around us. Even staying indoors for a lot of people is stressful, because as human beings, a lot of us are used to a certain level of movement and socializing, and that's not happening now. So it can lead to a lot of conflict, frustration, and for that, relaxation is a very important aspect in these times. And if you can incorporate Yoga Nidra, a short 15-20 minute one every day, it'll do wonders, because it helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, or the rest and digest response. And this helps to stay in a relaxed state throughout the day. Even in the most stressful situations, we can have a relaxed response to the external triggers. And the ideal time to practice this is in the morning after asana and pranayama. So if you're doing a morning routine, you would start with Abhyanga and then move on to asana, pranayama, and then end with Yoga Nidra. If you don't have time in the morning, if you have a lot of work and chores in the morning, then you can opt for an afternoon practice, perhaps 1 to 2 hours after lunch. And again, 15-20 minutes. We don't want to keep it too long, because it might interrupt with sleep patterns. And if you're experiencing insomnia in these times, then I would recommend practicing Yoga Nidra before bed. Just before you fall off to sleep, you can use the practice as an aid to fall asleep. Traditionally, Yoga Nidra is a practice to prepare for meditation, but in these times we can use it very well to experience muscular relaxation, emotional relaxation, and also it helps to release suppressed emotions and memories that we might be repressing in these times, because we don't want to face the situation, we don't want to deal with what's surfacing. So it's a wonderful practice, highly recommended every day. 15-20 minutes, it's a very short investment, and the yield and the benefit and the results are very valuable for that amount of time. The fourth practice is mantra chanting, and this is not a religious practice, it's more of connecting to the mantra as an energy practice. And also mantra means it is an instrument of the mind. It is used to work on the deeper layers of the mind, and it's a wonderful practice to calm down the dissipated mind during these times, and it can help the mind come to a one-pointed state. And the one mantra which I would encourage everyone to practice, and Swami Niranjananda Saraswati has said that if there's one sadhana we all can do in this time, it should be chanting the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. It's a very powerful mantra, as the name suggests, Mrityunjaya, so it is to overcome any fear of the unknown. In this case, fear of disease, fear of death. And this may not happen instantly, but it does work at a very subtle level. It helps to really find grounding and calm in the structure of the mind. And when you chant this, before you chant, please form an intention or have a sankalpa for your own health, healing and overall well-being, physically and emotionally. Also include your loved ones in your prayers and everybody in the world who might be in suffering and pain. Because that way we're also sending out the healing effect of this chant, not just to us, but also a lot of people in the world who need it. You can chant either 9 times, 18, 27, 54, 108. If you can do 108, wonderful, else even 9 is enough. But the whole point is it should be done with awareness and with a lot of faith. Faith is the essence of chanting mantras. And this practice can be done in the evening. Evening usually when the energy levels drop. Evening around sunset you can practice and you can chant Mahamrityunjaya mantra. It also helps to release all this stress and tension accumulated from the day. And the fifth practice is that of ahara. Now it's not really a practice to eating food, but we want to practice the right kind of consumption. So Ayurveda recommends having a moderate breakfast, lunch as the main meal, because that's when our Agni and digestive fire is the strongest, and a light dinner. This is very important. And if you can maintain a gap of at least 12 to 14 hours of fasting overnight, that is between dinner and the next meal in the morning at breakfast, a lot of the regeneration and the repair is done in overnight, and fasting is a wonderful time to allow space for that rejuvenation. So if you can fast for 14 hours overnight, 12 hours overnight, that's wonderful. Eat the main meal at lunch, a moderate breakfast and a light dinner. That's the eating principles. And also cooking the food with a sense of love and patience is very important. If we cook the food in a hurry and sense of anger and anxiety, we're also going to be ingesting those emotions. And speaking of ingesting even sensory impressions, Ayurveda also believes in the fact that whatever we consume through our senses is food. So it's not just limited to the food which nourishes the body, but also the information we consume through our senses. And here I mean the content we read, watch, listen, and this includes the news, this includes social media. If we are not mindful of what we are consuming, it's going to definitely leave an impact. We may not be aware of it initially, but it does affect our mental health in the long term. And if you are consuming a lot of news about fear, about the number of cases and deaths, you are ingesting fear with that consumption, and that is food for the mind. So we must also treat the mind like a temple and be very mindful about the news we consume. But also we must be very discerning, because right now there's a lot of room for conspiracies and rumors and false news. We don't know what is the truth. So please be very discerning and use your intellect to discern what is the right thing to do in this moment. And above all, being grateful every moment is very important. It will keep us in a state of feeling grounded and expansive. It will help to be a wonderful antidote for the fear, because although we are listening to a lot of suffering and pain around us, we do have a lot to be grateful for. The fact that we are alive, healthy, have food on a plate, we have the company of loved ones that we can work from home. A lot of things to be grateful for. Having shelter and clothing, right? So many people are not blessed enough to have it. So we are really richer than we think, and we must be very grateful every moment, because being grateful and having faith is what will help us cross these hurdles. And we have to do it together. It doesn't happen with just one person. Everyone collectively, all of us must uplift the overall consciousness and the collective energy. And this means at the level of thoughts, feelings and actions. So at the level of thoughts, cultivating a healthy mindset, a positive way of thinking. Feelings, feeling more of gratitude, compassion, helping others in the process is also a wonderful thing. And more importantly, respecting nature. That means food consumption, dietary choices, the way we use resources from nature is very important, because there's also a strong karmic aspect to this. And in yoga and Hinduism, we strongly believe in this principle that what goes around comes around, and it is a case of cause and effect. So right now we must be grateful, we must have faith, we must prioritize our health and immunity, and we must help others as much as we can. That's the only way we can get through this together as a collective. And I hope that this video was useful to you. I'm going to be sharing some links in the description for the practices I have mentioned. And if you have any questions regarding these practices or anything you want to share and add to these, please leave a comment below and I'll be glad to answer them. I wish all of you inner peace, I wish you good health, and I wish you a lot of love for yourself and your loved ones and everybody around. The only way we can heal from this together is having a sense of a shared purpose towards well-being, compassion and faith. On that note, I wish you a wonderful day ahead. Thank you. Hari Om Tat Sat.